Well, we're recording now, so you can do it.
Oh.
Do it.
Hello.
There you go. It's a wife episode. But also, it's a very interesting episode. Joe Rogan interviewed somebody named Python Man. And when it comes to clips and showing people things that are, you know, maybe not newsworthy, anti-gov worthy, anti-state worthy, I don't know, all the things that I tend to talk about, I was like, this is not going to be one of those episodes. I'm just listening to it just because it's Python stuff. It's like, you know, original Rogan type of content. The guy's talking about catching snakes and killing them and stuff. And then all of a sudden he brings up something that he found while he was trying to catch snakes. And it was a satanic ritual site of sorts. And he just talks about it like it's real casual. And he gets really deep into it. And I'm so glad we found this clip.
Yeah.
I would have never thought. And this is like, it's almost near the end of the podcast. So you have to dig deep for this one. If you're going to find it at all. All the clip channels that cover JRE, even JRE itself, missed this clip. I don't know why. I don't get it, but it's an incredible one. What do you think of it?
I was like shocked because we were like just making breakfast while we were listening to this. And then I stopped everything and I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
And then he
stuff.
says like a couple things that are like almost like Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Like it's like hidden. So you have to like research into it, and we'll get into that further.
Yeah. Because he was doing that throughout the episode. He was like, I don't want to. He's like, that's for another discussion. Like there are certain things he didn't want to touch on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff.
But we're going to touch on it.
Yeah. We got to. We got to. He is a Florida man. So, you know, Florida men, especially ones that are deep in the Everglades
Hunting
all the time.
snakes.
That's like where he spends his time. He probably has quite a bit of secrets. He probably knows about a lot of stuff that he doesn't want to get into.
Yeah.
But before I bring you that clip, because it is a long one, I got to show you the store. We got the Sold Not For Sale shirt. We got the Public Enemy #1 shirt. And we have the Certified Pure Blood shirt for those of you that survived the pandemic and came out of it unscathed. All of that can be found on IamCoachColin.com. And if you want 10% off, this is what you do. You put in the discount code I am Coach Colin, all one word, all capital letters, one L in the name Colin. And that gets you 10% off. And if you've done that with us already, thank you so much. You are much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to this lovely lady here. She is the one that suggested it because I was not thinking of a discount code. I was like, no discount codes. And she was like, I'm going to make one. And then when it didn't work, she made sure that it worked. So you guys can thank her. Thank her and her lovely voice. One of the viewers said you had an absolutely wonderful voice. That's what they said.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they were like, you know, I can't tell how beautiful she is,
Ugh.
but I can definitely tell she has a lovely voice. And I'm like, does this guy want to fight right now? What are you saying to me right now, bro? Compliment, of course. All right, let's get into this clip, and then let's talk about this stuff.
Dogs from dog fights that were dumped out there. I've found animals that have just been dumped. I've found very intricate and mind-blowing satanic rituals and sacrifices out there.
What?
Oh yeah. So I was, which I found different stuff before. You know, I'll find maybe where someone was doing some voodoo, some Santeria, sacrificed a chicken, whatever. All that's like kind of normal out there. That's not that crazy. But what I found this night was very crazy. Yeah, the police came and investigated it. It made the news, and that's the facility I was hunting. It's Aerojet. It's actually an abandoned space rocket facility from the Cold War, where they were developing and testing space rockets.
And what were you hunting there?
Pythons. I was out there, you know, hunting these snakes, and this facility is you need special access. I was given special access by the state of Florida to remove pythons from out there. And nobody can just go back out there, but people do go out there, as you can see from the graffiti and different stuff like that, usually to do stuff that they're not supposed to do. There's a lot of crimes committed out there. There've been murders out there, gang initiations, all kind of stuff.
So they have a pentagram that's...
So, yeah, it's a whole thing. So we go out there. The first thing I came across was a big rock pile with a upside-down wooden cross on top and a bunch of red spray-painted upside-down crosses all over. And you could tell the cross, I think, was burnt a little bit. And it wasn't, you know, crazy, super crazy. It was like, oh, this is new. You know, this wasn't out here a few days ago. And then I found this little doll. And as I kind of investigated that doll more, a little red scarlet snake actually came up and wrapped around her neck. And I picked up this, there it is. I picked up the scarlet snake. And which, you know, it was kind of weird that there's a live snake, a red snake on this doll. And I've caught a lot of snakes in my life. And that is the only one that was bleeding out of its anus. There was blood coming out of its beehole, which, you know, I don't know why, who knows what. It was a little weird to me. And then the night just kind of gets weirder from there. You see the red lettering in the other clip. It was a big Latin saying, like 100-foot long pretty much on the road. I drove over it. We later translated it to turn around, run, hide, he is watching you. Go further into the complex and there's these big abandoned buildings. I go into the building, you know, still just python hunting. Like, you know, who knows what these kids are doing out here. I thought it was strange, the Latin. Your average kid just messing around don't know Latin sayings like that. And then I come to this big room where there's the big pentagram. In the middle of the pentagram, there is a 3-legged plastic chair with a blood stain in the bottom of it where you could tell something was killed, sacrificed, whatever. On each wall, there's 3 walls. On each wall, there's upside-down crosses, Latin sayings, and all kinds of stuff. As I'm kind of walking into the room, which, you know, I don't want to sound like a psycho or anything, but that doll from earlier grabbed my leg. I don't know if I kicked it, I didn't see it, or what, but that doll from the rock pile somewhere else, I don't know if it was another doll or what, I never seen that other doll. I kick it, it seemed like it grabbed me, it's that same doll from earlier. Same thing with the cross on its forehead, the one eye cocked over, the other eye messed up. And so, you know, it's very, very weird to me. It kind of like scared me.
So
right next,
it wasn't there, and then it was there. So
I didn't notice it. I didn't notice
you
it.
didn't carry it over there.
No, I didn't touch it.
So did anybody else? Was anybody else with you?
I had 2 guys with me that didn't even want to get out of the truck when they seen the first thing. They stayed in the truck.
So the same
They
doll
didn't
that you
touch
saw
anything.
on the rock pile somehow made its way to where you were.
Yep. I don't know if it's a duplicate doll or what, but it's same.
Was there more than one of those dolls?
Only doll I seen. Only doll I seen. I'm not big on the whole supernatural thing, so I'm real doubtful of it in the first place. But to me, it was the same doll from earlier. I did not see it until it hit my foot. Right next to that doll, there is a saying on the ground that says, "The omen will follow," which to me was like the creepiest thing of the whole thing. Was like, you know, that if you interact with any of this spirit's going to follow you. Which I'm Christian, I believe in God, and I wasn't worried. You know, I know the good Lord has my back. But very strange, right? Very strange. As we go through, there's all kind of different stuff. In one of the rooms, there's a sleeping bag with something inside of it. I don't think it was a body, anything like that. Police went out there, investigated it. I didn't investigate further past that. Something was inside the sleeping bag, and on the walls, there was, looked like red spray paint, and it said, she was only 9, we gave her to the devil, like basically talking about sacrificing a child. And then you have this little girl's gown that's nailed to the wall with like a dark red stain on it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
And what was the investigation? Did you follow up and find out what they found out?
I never heard anything from it. I'm assuming they never found much from it because I never heard anything from it.
Did they know it was human blood that was in the chair?
I don't know.
Or on the...
I don't know. I would like to think it's red spray paint, but I don't know. I don't know. For the sake of the story, who knows what it was?
Yeah.
So, you know, we continue on with our hunt. We end up starting to get out of there. The guys are like, dude, we want to go. We don't like this shit. I'm like, all right, you know, let's pack it up. Let's go. So we start making our way out, and I see flashlights. I mean, there's one road in, one road out. There's a gate at the end of it. You can't drive a vehicle in. And I mean, we're miles out here. You have to drive miles to then walk miles, right? So I see this flashlight bouncing on the side of the road as I'm driving out. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? No, I've never seen anyone out here in my life, ever. Getting closer to him. I have my pistol in my truck. I put my pistol on my lap, you know, just in case. As I'm getting closer, about to kind of pass the guy's like, Mike. It's my name. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm definitely shooting this guy. Like, what the fuck, you know? And he's like, I love your Instagram. I was like, oh shit.
No.
And I'm like, dude, what are you doing out here? He's like, oh, I seen on your story a couple of days you were out here python hunting, so I figured I'd come out here and take a look. He was with a buddy. And I'm like, you know, that's awesome. You know,
that's better than devil
yeah,
worshippers.
yeah. I'm like, good luck to you. But I found some crazy shit back there. And it is fresh. Like someone was just back there doing some satanic shit. You know, be careful. Look out for yourself. I go on my way. I talked to him the next day. He said 5 minutes after he left me, he heard a bunch of gunshots back there, and he fucking rolled out. Left.
Whoa. So those people were still there.
Sure as shit seems like it.
Holy shit.
Sure as shit seems like it.
Holy
so I do
shit.
a little more investigating in myself. It turns out Aerojet, that facility itself, has this, which I've done a whole YouTube video on it. Definitely check it out. It's interesting. Has a whole satanic history. The founder of Aerojet, the guy who was working with NASA and the federal government on these space rockets, was a public Satanist. Jack Parsons was a public Satanist who supposedly died in some kind of experiment, some say a satanic ritual, an explosion. And
what the fuck, man? Look at this guy.
Oh yeah, very public Satanist. He practiced what was called sex magic, and you can imagine what that's all about. And so his wife, who he I think it was his second wife, I'm not sure what, he claimed he conjured her from hell, that she was a demon, an elemental from hell. Her name was Marjorie Kimmel, the same name as my grandmother.
So this guy's a legit rocket scientist for NASA.
Full-blown Satanist.
Wow.
Public Satanist. Yeah.
What year was this?
60s, 70s, Cold War. Wow. And then Aerojet's still a thing too. It's I think it's out in Texas or I don't know what, but
bro, this is a flat out horror movie.
Yeah. And that rabbit hole goes way deeper. The
occult history behind NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that spot is
Jamie, will you send me that, please?
significant for satanic rituals, and that happened during the Easter moon, which is also, I found out, I didn't know this before, high activity for satanic rituals for whatever reason. They think that it's a better time to link or I don't know what. But
oh God.
Yeah, it wasn't just some, oh, we're laughing about it. It was like a real deal. They were trying to do something out there.
You know what's really fucking terrifying? People dismiss the idea of demons. They dismiss it completely, but yet believe in God.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you tell people that you saw the devil, they're like, okay,
Yeah.
Mike saw the devil. Fuck out of here, Mike. What are you drinking? What are we doing, Mike?
You've been in a swamp too long,
Licking
son.
toads, Mike. Yeah, what the fuck are you up to? But if you tell them that God spoke to you, people will listen.
Mm-hmm.
If Satan is real, or if demons are real, if they really are a real thing, and these occultists really can summon them, you know how fucking terrifying that would be.
Wow. This is a perfect blend of what I love. I love stuff like this, and I love Joe Rogan, and it's just the perfect blend. I did not expect it, and I'm so happy that we found this. But how crazy is that?
That is so crazy. That'd be so scary.
And it's funny, and we are going to get into this. Was Jack Parson?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so yeah, let's get into that. But I will say, just before, I remember me and my good friend, my buddy Mike, we were on a mushroom trip one time. I forget where we were. We were in some forest, and we found something set up, but it wasn't as big as an elaborate as this. But it was like something. Like there was
Weird.
a dead bird, there was fire, there was a bunch of... It looked weird. But the first thing we thought of was like a seance. We were like, what is this?
Huh.
But we were on mushrooms, so...
A girl I work with was telling me yesterday that she went to the beach with some friends, like at night, just to like have a couple drinks and whatever, just hang out.
Yeah.
And a bunch of girls rolled in, like set a fire on the beach and started like chanting and throwing paper into it.
Really?
Yeah. So they left. She was
Wow.
freaked out.
My buddy Kevin always says that women are more witch.
Prone to witchy
Yeah,
activities.
they're witches. He's like, every woman is a witch.
Oh.
He's like, all of them. He's like, whether they use it or not. But
Is he single?
Kevin?
Yeah.
No. He has a very I wouldn't say she's like a witch. She's like she's a spiritual lady. For
Okay.
Sure. I'm pretty sure he's still with her. I think. I don't actually know. I haven't seen her in a minute. But yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about first from this whole thing?
I don't know. There's so much to unpack here.
I think the whole thing with the doll and then him saying that the doll grabbed him, that's the best part to me.
That was crazy.
I love that.
And I love too how he was like, oh, like I don't know if there was like a duplicate doll. Like he was like being his own skeptic.
Yeah, he's trying to like...
Which makes me think it actually happened more.
yeah, exactly, right? Like he's trying to like steel man his argument almost. He's trying to like, combat it.
Yeah.
It could be a duplicate, it could be this. He's like, but I didn't see a duplicate. Oh,
yeah.
That's very...
But like when something scary happens to someone or like something traumatic, when they recount what happened, you can always tell they're very like calm and methodical, and they don't really have like emotion when telling it. And that's kind of how he was in that time, because like that's freaky, and it ended up like in the news.
That's the craziest part.
And it was investigated by the police, and he just stumbled across it, and he was in it in the middle of the night in the Florida Everglades.
Oh man,
That's crazy.
And of course, it's Florida. Of course,
Yeah, where else?
Florida is known for that type of thing, and actually, it is in something you were reading. So, like, start off like where do you want to start off? Jack Parson first, or what? Because you were tripping out about some stuff you were reading.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely insane.
Okay, so Jack Parson, public Satanist.
Yeah, so Jack Parsons. Just a quick fact check on this little clip. He mentioned this happened in like 60s and 70s, but it was a bit before that. So Jack Parsons died in 52.
Okay.
And NASA was founded in 58.
Okay.
So a little bit later, but this guy definitely had a hand in the company called Aerojet, which is what they were talking about, and that's where this satanic ritual was found.
Really?
Yeah. And like an old Aerojet space.
Wow.
Is what he was talking about. But yeah, so basically he was like the premier, like the very first rocket scientist. Like he made rockets possible.
Wow, this article that I just found calls him the occultist father of rocketry.
Yeah.
Written out of NASA's history. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had to write him out of it, right? They're like, we can't have you.
Yeah, well, it's crazy too to think like that. What did I call it? Aero something company?
Aerospace.
Thank you.
Yeah. Aerojet, I believe.
Aerojet, thank you.
Yeah.
So now they've merged with another company. It still exists today. They're called Aerojet Rocketdyne, and they still work with NASA, like making most of the rockets.
Really? They make NASA's rockets?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
I did not realize that NASA didn't make their own rockets.
Well, they're like the think tank. They don't manufacture.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought they just made everything.
No, I think they like engineer things and test things and simulate, but I don't think they actually make rockets.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk does more in rockets than NASA does.
Probably, yeah.
That's very odd.
Because NASA's just a bunch of like nerds.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, a bunch of engineers.
Yeah.
They're all just
mathematicians,
oh, wow.
physicists.
I didn't know that. And they just leave it to the Satanists to work out the...
Apparently. Apparently. But this guy, Jack Parsons, was really cool because he was explaining his theology behind why he likes rockets.
Yeah.
And he was also into this very occult religion. What was it called? He was what was called a Thelemite, was his religion.
A
Thelemite. And it had to do with magic. Like making... like actually doing magic. So he compared those things.
The occult type of magic, right?
Yes.
So that's actually a lot of people don't know. It's called magique.
Yeah, with a K at the end.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. It's not called magic. It's magique.
You say it differently.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to say it. Like
I saw it like written like that, but I was like, yeah, magic.
I used to watch a lot of different, like when I was delving into like all these rabbit holes. Like I found that stuff where they would talk about magique. And Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
And I was looking into that guy, and I was like,
Aleister Crowley made this religion.
Really?
Of the Thelemites. He started it.
So this guy was deep.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Like he was in personal contact with Aleister Crowley.
Whoa. That's interesting. Do you know how many people think that this picture is Aleister Crowley?
Really?
So many people.
Well, I guess like he was like bald.
Well, if you look, Aleister Crowley does have a picture where he's making that face, but well, he's not really making that face, but it's kind of similar. But it's Joe Rogan, just for anybody wondering. It's
not Aleister Crowley.
A lot of people were like, "This guy worships Satan."
No. But yeah, so I don't even know where to start with this guy, so I'll just start at the beginning.
Yeah, give it to me.
So yeah, he started off just kind of playing with rockets, was really interested in it, but ended up in university during the Great Depression, and he had to stop going to school because of some financial difficulties.
Really?
Yep. So he dropped out of university, and then he ended up uniting with a friend to start like kind of doing like rocket science.
Okay.
And they were just like playing around with this, and they made a company called the Guggenheim Aeronautical Laboratory, which is
just playing around. They made a company called the Guggenheim.
Yeah, I don't know where I can't figure out where he got his knowledge base about rockets.
Huh.
Because even if you went to school for a couple years of an undergrad isn't going to teach you rocket science, especially if it doesn't exist yet.
Well, I mean, you know what?
Magique.
Well, yeah, because, you know, there's a lot of people Like I know all sorts of spiritual types, and you call them maybe granola eater, hippie types, and then there's straight hardcore Christians, hardcore Muslim people, hardcore Jewish people, and a lot of these people talk about downloads, especially the spiritual people, just getting downloads of information. Like when you know something without truly like going through the process of learning it, but you just like know a lot of things. Like a lot of people say that I get like a lot of downloads because of like the knowledge base I have versus the amount of no schooling that I've done.
Yeah.
But if that's possible on the good side of things, just like Joe was saying in this clip, it's like some people believe in God, but they don't believe in demons. It's kind of a little silly. Like if you believe that there's an ultimate good, there has to be this opposing side of evil. So maybe that's where he got his knowledge from.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's really doing rituals, right? Like he's trying to.
This was like before his rituals too.
Before he even got involved?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
This guy's the Antichrist.
Yeah, a little bit. He's kind of crazy. So he didn't convert to this religion. It's Thelema, until 1939. And he joined what was called the Agape Lodge. So that was like this religion's kind of church. So there's members of the lodge.
Okay.
And at Aleister Crowley's bidding, he made Parsons the leader of the lodge 3 years later in 1942.
Aleister Crowley did?
Yes. Aleister Crowley decided that Parsons was going to lead this lodge. And he ran the lodge out of the mansion that he owned on Orange Grove Boulevard in Pasadena.
Pasadena? Where? That's California, right?
Yeah, it is.
A lot of weird stuff in California.
I know, right?
A lot of weird stuff. Laurel Canyon, Hollywood.
Yeah.
the weirdest of it all. Then this.
Manson.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, we can get into it later, but I think the land of, like, not California itself, but whatever was there before was probably ancient, because it seems like there's a lot of weird energy there.
Even with the redwood trees.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of like, I don't know, ancient energy and connectivity.
Yeah, it seems like it, and it seems like that's why the rich and powerful like took it over.
Yeah.
Like, this is where we stay.
And there's like mountains, there's the sea, like there's a lot of energy in those things.
Yeah. There's something there, I think.
Yeah. And then through all this, so Parsons was married to a woman named Helen.
Okay.
And then a couple years after joining the lodge, he had an affair with Helen's sister.
Okay.
So his wife's sister.
Let's go.
And then Sarah left him for another of the members of the lodge.
Really?
Yeah.
So he slept with her sister, and then
the wife left him, and then the sister also left him for another lodge member.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
What
absolutely
they do in those
insane.
Circles. In those circles, that's fine.
Yeah,
because it's all about like, it's the opposite of what you'd think in like a Christian household. You'd stay devout to your wife and you'd stay connected. When you're in those other realms of things, you're just like, we can do whatever.
Yeah,
it's all depravity and no integrity for the most part.
But he actually he sent this message to Aleister Crowley. He said, about 3 months ago, I met Captain L. Ron Hubbard, who's the guy that the girl left him for, a writer and explorer of whom I had known for some time. He is a gentleman. He has red hair, green eyes, is honest and intelligent, and we have become great friends. He moved in with me about 2 months ago, and although Betty and I are still friendly, he has transferred her sexual affection to Ron. And then he says,
how they even talk about it? Transferred her sexual affection.
Weird, eh?
Yeah.
And then he says, I think I have made a great gain, and as Betty and I are the best of friends, there is little loss. I cared for her rather deeply, but I have no desire to control her emotions, and I can, I hope, control my own. I need a magical partner. I have many experiments in mind. And then right after this happened, he did this crazy thing. Where was it? Oh my gosh.
He did this crazy,
like
all
literally
of this,
insane.
And now he did this crazy thing.
Okay, so he was doing this experiment with Hubbard. So Hubbard was his scribe because he believed he was particularly sensitive to detecting magical phenomena. So what he did was called the Babylon working. So basically he just masturbated onto a bunch of magical tablets, and this was his experiment. And the whole
Okay.
point of doing this was supposed to bring about the incarnation of a Thelemite goddess, Babylon, onto Earth.
Whoa.
So shortly after doing this is when he met the wife that they were talking about in the clip.
Yeah, that he conjured from hell. Or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah.
So from jerking off on the tablets,
You gotta say pleasuring.
sorry.
Jesus.
Ew, that's even grosser somehow.
We're gonna get limited again.
Sorry. Well, from doing what he was doing,
yeah, doing his thing.
he conjured his wife, who is this like Thelemite goddess, Babylon, which is absolutely insane.
Wow. That's very... See, and that's the thing. Like, people are really trying to conjure things. That's like a real thing that people are trying to do. They're trying to bring in certain entities into this world, into physical form.
Yeah.
Which sometimes when I see a celebrity look massively different, I'm like, one of those entities popped up inside that person. You know, you look at Madonna now and you're just like, ugh, something jumped in her
Yeah.
and like lives there now. You know?
Lives there.
Yeah, you see Little Kim, even Biden. They just look weird. They just look weird now, yeah?
True.
I don't know.
Just like sparks that uncanny valley a little bit.
Yeah, they don't look right anymore,
Yeah.
you know? But sorry, go ahead.
Parsons ended up dying in an explosion at their home, something to do with rocket science, in 1952. And his new wife, Marjorie Cameron, came to suspect that her husband had been assassinated and began rituals to communicate with his spirit.
Whoa.
She ended up establishing a multiracial occult group called the Children, which dedicated itself to sex magic rituals with the intent of producing mixed race moon children.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then it
This is
says the group soon dissolved, largely because many of its members became concerned by Cameron's increasingly apocalyptic predictions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was a bit nutty.
Yeah. They're like, we're just trying to all bang here.
Moon children. Yeah, that's,
You're
yeah.
bringing us down.
They just wanted to bang a bunch of white ladies when it wasn't
Yeah.
proper.
Yeah, could you imagine? Like, what year was that? That was like in the 60s?
52.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's just a bunch of black dudes are like, thought this would never happen. It's about time we got these reparations. And then she's like, and we're all going to pass away horribly. And
Yeah. Oh, man.
I can't keep it up like this. I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah.
I've had my fill. So what else about this guy? And not that like this isn't ridiculous, but what
That was
else is-
pretty much it. Like, he died.
wow.
Did a bunch of crazy stuff, conjured a wife, and then he died.
See, and that's the thing. That's the thing with these guys, these people who attach themselves to this type of life, Satanists. They always die really early. Like they give themselves up to an extent, and they get whatever they want, whether it be knowledge, success, you know, great achievement, genius, and then they all pass away early. You know, just like the 27 Club, just like I was telling you about that rapper XXXTentacion.
Yeah.
He was like a genius with, like he was at first just like this like rapper, just like a wild rapper, and then all of a sudden he made a song where he said, I went to Miami and sold my soul. I met a man in Florida,
Yeah.
and he had fangs, and I sold my soul to him, and then he became like this genius level musician, and then died at like the age of like 20 or 21. Like died right away. Like literally made that song 3 years later, did a whole bunch of stuff, had this crazy fan base, passed away. It seems like all these people who attach themselves to this type of stuff end up passing, and it's always terribly. Like
Yeah.
XXXTentacion was shot in the chest, you know?
True.
It's like wild. Very interesting. And then also, I guess, what attaches to this case, you know, what Python Cowboy, if you want to look him up on Instagram, or Joe Rogan Experience, it's episode 2020, I believe. Either 2020 or 2019. But put in Python Cowboy, you'll find him. He talked about, how do you say it? Santeria?
Santeria.
Yeah, that Cuban African religion.
Yeah.
Where people sacrifice things.
Yeah.
There's a lot to that. There's a lot of rappers that mention that. Like Jay-Z even mentions that.
I think I've heard it in songs.
Yeah, Jay-Z says like this Santa Maria stuff really works.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And every time, if you don't know about it, you have this person. I don't want to say a doula, but you have this person that you visit, and they are connected to whatever this stuff is, and you'll tell them that you want something. You tell them that you want something, or that you need to do something, or you need to go somewhere, and they tell you whether or not you can, and whether or not you need to sacrifice something. And it'll be like a chicken, and it'll be chickens for a while, and then it'll turn into a goat, and it turns into bigger and bigger animals. And then, then people say that it turns into a person eventually. Like eventually it's like, it needs to be, you need a cousin, you need a brother, you need more, and this is for you to gain more and more in this world, fame, clout, fortune, success. And it's said that these people do this. That's why it's said, can't actually prove it. Actually, you kind of can prove it, because Kanye West actually came out and said that his mother was a sacrifice, but it wasn't, can't say it was connected to Santeria or anything. But it's said that, like, a lot of these celebrities, like, they have a lot of their family members pass away. Funny enough, Cardi B was even like, she was like doing this like little song. It was like a little rap freestyle type of thing. And at the end she said, Illuminati, which one of my cousins do you want?
Oh my God.
And then she said something else, but she was just like, willing to do that.
That's
at
crazy.
Least she said it jokingly.
Yeah. But I feel like if she said it even jokingly, she's probably not involved.
Yeah, right?
She probably can't. She probably just knows people who are. Something.
Because I haven't heard about anybody near her passing, unless you count her brother's or her husband's cousin, because the guy in Amigos.
Yeah, that's a bit far off, though.
Yeah, not really. They're really connected.
That's true.
All really close. All I'll say in regards to celebrities is, like, when you see someone near them pass away, I always say watch their career. If their career is at one point and then you see someone near them pass away, it's like, get prepared to see them blast off out of the stratosphere in terms of success.
Yeah.
But fun clip.
That was a fun clip.
Do you have anything else?
No, that was it. I'm a crazy guy.
I love it.
I learned some stuff today, honey.
Yeah. Right? Oh man, such a weird one. And then he also Python Cowboy said he had an episode on it where he actually walks through the whole place. Like, this has all been filmed. I tried to pull up an Instagram picture, but Instagram's not letting me be on Instagram. Just like Facebook, like, they don't let me log in. I'm not allowed. They're like, we know what you do on YouTube. We're not letting you in here.
Did you see? I sent you an article.
Your email. I saw, but I couldn't actually see the parts that I wanted to see. All I could see was the crosses.
Yeah.
And I can show people that really quick before we sign off here.
Yeah. Can you imagine just like walking through the woods and you just stumble across this?
No, I couldn't.
That's so scary. I would run. I wouldn't investigate further.
I would leave right away. So this is the Python Man's website. So this is what he saw at the beginning. Upside down crosses, upside down cross, put it. And then the doll was also within this vicinity with a snake that just... Imagine that. You have the balls to touch the doll and then a snake just wraps around its neck.
Yeah, a red snake too. It was like a super small snake. Like one of the little cute ones that people get for pets and stuff.
And then also, I just want to say, those guys that pulled up, like, they say they heard gunshots and left. They sound like they were the guys doing it.
Yeah.
Just like randomly he's leaving, they're coming in. They're just like, oh, just,
Especially when they were like, oh, we saw in your stories that you were here the past couple days.
Yeah.
And we just decided to roll up.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he was the intended sacrifice.
Maybe right, like maybe you catch somebody, it's like, oh, we have a whole person here, and we could just blame it on snakes or whatever afterwards.
Yeah, true.
I have no idea, but they sound like because again, if I was that person and I got into a situation where this guy's like, there's a bunch of fresh satanic stuff, I just saw it,
why would
I'd
you
be
go?
Like, oh, so I'm just gonna follow you out. We're leaving. Didn't realize.
Like, oh man, did you call the cops? Let's go.
Yeah, let's get going. And instead they go in.
Yeah, it's true. And then hear a bunch of gunshots. Like, there's nobody else there.
But again, Florida. Those men are built different in Florida. Balls of steels. I have family in Florida. They're just built different. They are. They're just built different.
Yeah.
They have a whole other mindset.
I guess so. Like, even in terms of, like, I don't know, are they alligators or crocodiles down there?
I think it's alligators. I think any crocodiles you're supposed to like shoot on sight.
Oh, okay.
Because crocodiles are just like...
Are those like the massive ones?
They're the ones that will just attack you.
Yeah.
Right away. Well, crocodiles will like see you, kind of size you up, maybe ignore you a little bit.
Alligators will?
Yeah, alligators will, but crocodiles will come after you.
Yeah.
They're very like aggressive.
But Floridians are so like nonchalant about alligators too.
Yeah.
Like they're just like in ponds and people are just walking past.
Well, that's why they're built different, because they have these dinosaurs everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you become a different person. Like Texas, you know, a lot of farms, you know, you can see a lot of people have guns, right? Like,
yeah.
It's a little bit like the things that they have around them make them a certain way. Then they have the Apache history that's so crazily rich, you know, the Texas Rangers. But Florida, it's like you have massive iguanas, you have pythons, you have all this stuff, and it kind of just makes you different.
Yeah, that's
you
weird.
know? It's just different. You know, like people in Boston, people in Buffalo, people in Canada, Ontario, they have aggressive snow. Like the snow gets so aggressive, it gets so crazy. Like Joe Rogan talks about it all the time. It's like it builds a different type of character.
Yeah.
You have to go through winter. You have to go through crazy winters. Then people in Alberta, it's like they got the farm, but then also they have these insane winters where it's just crazy. It just makes you different what you have around you. Like there's guys in Africa right now, like I told you, they're walking hyenas.
Yeah.
Like they just put a big muzzle on the hyena and they're just like, this is fine. This is my dog.
This is my dog.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't mind. They're just like, whatever. Like this is
that's
what we got
crazy.
here. You know?
After seeing that hyena at the zoo, I can't even imagine.
Right? And that's what they do. Because they're used to it, because they have lions.
True.
They're like, it's not like I'm trying to walk a lion. I'm not crazy. It's just a hyena. You can fight a hyena. You know?
Yeah.
The things we have around ourselves just they make you built different. That's why I love Florida.
Like I'd be scared to even walk a raccoon.
I got it.
I see one and I run the other way.
I wanna go. My aunt's in Orlando.
Yeah.
I wanna go see her.
Yeah, let's go.
Talk to her. I got some cousins out there. Some wild boys. All right, guys. Other than that, we are out, and there's nothing to put in the research section. Really, I was gonna put something in the playlist. There's nothing there. Like if you haven't liked already. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And other than that, we are out. What episode was this? This is Date Night Conspiracy, but it's still episode 524.
That's great.
We're getting up there.
That's a good number.
All right, guys.
Bye.